Welcome back to Kingdom Cast. This is your host, Good Luck Chuck. We back at it for a special edition here. We got a local reporter that's on the boots on the ground here, for Super Bowl weekend down in Phoenix/Glendale, Arizona. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share all your social media platforms. It's just me and my guy Country for this early episode. You'll catch the whole crew later on today. But we got our guy Aaron Ladd from KSHB 41 News and Coast to Coast Pod, Arrowhead Pride. How you doing, Aaron? How you doing this afternoon, man?
Busy, man. Glad we can make this happen. It's my second Kingdom Cast appearance. Really glad to be here. Really glad to be covering a Super Bowl champ, man, or Super Bowl a Super Bowl. I won't say Super Bowl champ yet, but no, it's a blessing, man. It's exciting being down here in Arizona, Glendale, Scottsdale, Tempe is where we stand now. Whatever you want to call it, it's fun. It's a blast. I'm having a good time.
What's up, Kylie? But yeah, Aaron. Before we get started though, man, I'm gonna need you to lay off our airport a little bit. I'm excited about the new airport too, man. I know you're from Atlanta and all that, but it was all about efficiency here, man. We show up to the airport 15 minutes before it boards, and you still get on your plane just in time, bro.
The new one can be
Chill.
efficient as well. There's nothing wrong with being efficient, and you can also get something to eat there right now. Like I go to KCI, love the efficiency. Went through KCI, went through TSA this last time in like 5 to 10 minutes. Love that part about it. But if you have a layover there, hope you like vending machine because that's the that's the spread at KCI right now. Well, as KC steps up, World Cup City, and we're getting downtown stadium like y'all talk. There's nothing wrong with giving some of these staples a facelift.
That's
Nothing.
definitely facts. That's definitely
Y'all both
facts.
right though. Y'all both right. It's very convenient. There's nothing to eat there. It's period. It's just so we gonna meet in the middle and make a better airport, man. World Cup coming, Super Bowl champions on deck. You know what I'm saying? So Kansas City is on its way to becoming a major city. Whether you guys love it or like it or hate it, how you feel about it, it's gonna happen. So just pack
Yeah,
your
I'm looking
bags
forward
up and
to
get
it.
ready.
I'm looking forward to it, honestly. We
Move,
got a lot of big
move,
things popping here. So
move the Belton if you don't like it.
okay.
No, shout out to Belton. So Aaron, man, I know we trying to get off this Bengals week, but you were on the field, confetti flying, great interviews, great sound bites.
Appreciate that.
What was that moment like?
Surreal. It was the first time being there. And I was kind of in that same situation the year before, right? Chiefs, Bengals. You're watching the last 2 minutes from the tunnel. Usually we watch the game up in the press box, but as it gets close to that 2 minute warning, you make your way down to the field. So I'm sitting in the tunnel, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing if we're going to be running on the field covering an AFC champion or if we're going to be walking back to a sad locker room. You could feel the emotional release from these guys. I mean, they had kind of bit their tongue all week. They heard all the noise, and we know that it started to leak out as the week went on. But for the most part, they tucked their tail, as Colin Saunders told me post game. Like, they felt that disrespect, and they felt the last three losses against the Bengals and how close and how narrow those victories, or excuse me, how narrow those losses were. So I think just being on the field and in those interviews, you saw how emotional and how much they had prepared to beat that team. But now it's all about turning the page. And y'all, I'm sure, are trying to go through that now. And it's going to be a big talking point on all the podcasts and all the platforms this week. How can you take the emotion from that win, bottle it up, and use it as motivation for one more? Because we all know the job's not finished.
I would
Yep.
be concerned if we didn't have 2 weeks between this game and next game. So I think you got to sit with it for probably till Wednesday. And then when did they fly down? Thursday last week?
They flew down on Sunday, I believe.
Oh,
Sunday
okay.
was the day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when the page get turned. It's okay. That was last week. We on to this. So do you think they're in the proper place in the mindset? Do you notice that? You've been doing a lot of player interviews and
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Mahomes gave voice to it on the Wednesday of the bye week. And you've obviously seen it this week now that they're here in Arizona and kind of going through the media stuff. I think this team, and I've kind of asked and poked around, not really gotten the direct answer, but I think they're motivated by that Tampa loss, the one in the Super Bowl against the Bucks, right? Like Mahomes said, and this was an interview with 610. CDOT does a lot of good work in KC, but basically said, once you lose one, that sticks with you more so than winning one. And I think that loss is fresher than the team that won one. A lot of these guys that are here, sure, they had experience, they were in that game, but they as far as fresher memories and thinking back about the Super Bowl, it's that Tampa loss and how poorly they performed in that game. Had that game been closer, had it been a game-winning field goal, maybe we don't hear some of that motivational stuff, but with the offensive line breaking down the way it did and that kind of situation, I think that's what helped them turn the page quicker than ever. Hey, the job's not done. We got this AFC title. Cool. That was the job, but it's still one more game to be played, and Philly's a hell of a team too.
Yep, job's not finished. That has been the theme going around these past few weeks during this playoff run. Shout out to Kobe Bryant. Like, no, I'm in another group chat. Chiefs folks, we've been preaching that this entire time. So, but Aaron, like, I do before I move on away from the Bengals and stuff. My favorite clip from all the interviews you did, I'm pretty sure it's like the most viewed. We interviewed Pat Mahomes Sr. He said, "Smoking on that Joe Burrow." I can't get that out of my head, man. Smoking on that Joe Burrow.
That's my biggest tweet ever. Biggest tweet ever. I looked at it today. It's like 33 million. Nah, it was big. That was big time. And like everybody was in that same kind of area or whatever. So I saw Pat Sr. coming off the podium. And he was saying it like it was just my goal to get a mic and a camera in front of him. So he said it to me and I could post it before he said it to anybody else. But he was hyped, man. And I'm sure, the mayor stuff and like some of the chatter, like there's a line between trash talk and when you take it a step too far. And I think like the paternity test and like some of the chat, like if had it just been Burrowhead, I think maybe that stays in kind of the trash talk kind of line of things. But once you start getting personal and family stuff gets involved, we could tell they heard it. And Pat Sr. was hype. He was a little I won't say lit, but he had definitely had a few. He had definitely had a few. And it was funny seeing where people took the clip to. Like people did like a remix. I heard a chop up with Britney's video and stuff like that. That thing has a life of its own now. Somebody gave me a Smoking on that Joe Burrow t-shirt. So no, that was cool.
So as a reporter, now that was a good one. Frank Clark and James Palmer. Is it James Palmer or Jesse Palmer? I always get them mixed up.
James Palmer.
James Palmer. As a professional reporter, which one would you rather have? The Pat Sr. or the Frank Clark immediately after the game? I don't know what he's going to say, but it's going to be great. Quote, which one would you rather have?
I like the way the Pat Sr. one came out, and he's kind of close to, obviously, Pat Jr., Pat the second, 2 p.m., whatever you want to call it. He's never going to give you anything like that. So Pat Sr. giving you emotion, you're going to get emotion from Frank Clark. And Frank has been amazing, not only after the AFC title game, but like sound we got from him yesterday, sound we got from him today. Frank is always going to give you a sound bite. To get something like that from Pat Sr., I thought was unique, and it gave you the ties to the Mahomes family.
Yes. So you haven't been so you just now getting down to Phoenix, Glendale area. You just now, taking interviews and stuff. I know this morning, you went to near the podium and, asked the questions, recorded some audio and stuff. Travis Kelce, like, let's talk about him for a little bit because he said this quite often. Like he said it on his podcast. He said it during Super Bowl week. How much credit he gives to Andy Reid and everything. I know one quote he said, like, he said he doesn't think enough is being said about the guys that come in and be professional from day one. And I want to say that's carried over from last year's loss against the Bengals, when we somehow collapsed and blew that game. But I mean, do you agree with that assessment?
I mean, the Chiefs aren't in this game without the rookies and the new additions. I don't think that's breaking news at all. I mean, to have a Trent McDuffie, a George Karlaftis, a Justin Reed come in and step in for a franchise cornerstone and Tyrann Mathieu, like it wasn't just the core. Obviously, you have Mahomes and Kelce, and those two power your ship and your offense no matter where you want to go. But the key plays are the rookies, and the rookies being able to grasp the system, understand what their role is, and then go out and perform. I mean, Snead went down in the first quarter of the AFC title game. And from that point on, you're depending on 4 rookies. You're depending on guys who never played an AFC title game before. You're depending on guys who, this is their first real test of playing 15, 16, 17 football games in 1 year. Your body has to be right to be able to play. Like, I think what Travis was saying in that quote, not enough credits to the guys who came in and were professional from day one. It's not just football, because football is part of it. It's what you're doing off the field. Are you eating right? Is your family distracting you? Like, it is a 24/7 job when you're in season to be able to play and play your best. I mean, obviously what we see on Sundays, but it's a whole bunch of work that goes in inside the week to be able to go out there and play your best. So, yeah, I would agree with that. I think rookie's gonna have to play a key part in order for them to beat Philly on Sunday, for real.
Yeah, man. Sky Moore mentioned how early season mistakes helped him grow as a player throughout the course of the year, and he said that he knew this year would be like a roller coaster, like basically a learning experience for him. And it has been a learning experience. Some people in Chiefs Kingdom, they've been frustrated that he hasn't really been on the field as much, but when his name has been called upon, he has stepped up. So, I told everybody, like, it's more of a next year thing with Sky Moore, but if his name has to be called upon, I know that he's gonna be able to step up. So.
We got to stop making judgments on guys after like a 10-game sample size anyway.
Right.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves is like, we see 1 year of a guy and we're like, okay, well, he's nothing. And we judge that based off where he was drafted or a couple mistakes. Like Sky said today, he knew this year was going to be a roller coaster, but he had his hands up the entire time. Like, for me, it's the mindset. And Dave Tobe was on the podium last week and said he knew Sky hit rock bottom when he said, hey, just don't put me in there anymore. That was after the third fumble. Like, that to me more so it would worry you, right? Now it seems like after the 29-yard return that helped set up the game-winning drive in the AFC title game, like, his head's back in it. His mind's back in it. He understands what his role is. I think when a guy comes in and is drafted in the second round, he thinks, well, I'm just going to have to be able to step in and do this, that, this, and that, and this, and that. And really, in Kansas City, you don't have to do that if you're a rookie and coming in. Play your role, understand what your offense is, or understand what you bring to the offense, and just go out and execute. This is a guy who had never returned punts before. And now we're judging him off what he's doing in the punt return game. I think he showed us in that LA game out in LA what he can do when called upon, because he had some big catches on third down. For all the rookies, man, it's been a roller coaster journey, and there's guys like Trent McDuffie who have been locked down when they've been on the field, and then there's guys like Sky Moore who have kind of had to been more up and down in their journey.
So I think during the AFC Championship game that everybody that was talked about this year, from Josh Williams to Sky Moore to everybody that was like Harrison Bucker, what I'm saying? They were talked about. I think they redeemed themselves in that game and showed up on the biggest stage. But this is the biggest stage. And there's somebody that's been talked about for the last 4 years. I think he's activated. I think he's going to play. Is there a shot of him getting some redemption in this game?
You talking about CEH?
Yes, sir.
That's my guy. I was a day one CEH stan, even though we had to weather some storms and on Twitter. I don't know, man. I was looking for him today. Apparently all 53 were supposed to be available. I didn't see him. We got some media video of him practicing yesterday. I've seen him in small stints in practice at the facility and that kind of thing. But it was weird to me that so he was activated this Monday, I think Andy talked and was asked, does that mean he's going to be the number 3 or like what his role would look like in the Super Bowl? And Andy was kind of non-committal as he always is. I'd be shocked if they elevated him and then just kept him on the sideline in the biggest game of his career. I know he played in the national championship game, but I think there's a role for CEH, man. I think where McKinnon and Pacheco are faster and quicker and more agile and can be useful in the pass game, CH can be your short yardage guy. He can be your goal line guy. Pacheco has kind of grasped onto that after being kind of struggling with his vision earlier in the year. He's kind of shown that now he has that burst, not only to get to the hole, but hit through and get into the goal line. But I have a hard time seeing a guy who hasn't played since week 11, worked his way all the way back, activated the week before the Super Bowl. He's got to be in the plans, right?
Yep. Because I wonder if it correlates with the whole. There's somebody that has been mentioned that's going to step up.
A lot of people
Ooh,
read into that one. Everybody read it. Who do y'all think it is? Who do y'all think it is?
Country,
I'm
do you
sorry,
go
the
first,
Lakers just
dog?
made a trade. What y'all just? I missed that, Chuck. What'd you say? Lakers just got Mo Bamba. I'm sorry, but go ahead. Repeat that.
Uh, talk about the whole because I was saying Andy Reid made a quote this morning saying there's somebody that hasn't been mentioned that's going to step up, and I was thinking that was going to correlate with CEH, but then Aaron asked you like, do you think there's somebody else? Because you had mentioned like unsung heroes like on the Eagles pod we went on the other day. So
Yeah.
who do you
hmm
think?
Um, Justin Watson, maybe.
That was going to be my name. That was going to be my name.
It would be a real stretch to say Justin. I mean, Michael Burton, but uh, Justin Watson. Justin Watson might be. Yeah, that's a good bet right there.
Hmm.
Defensively or offensively? We talking about offensively, right?
Yeah, it could be defensively as well. I like Fortson.
Right.
I like Fortson to be a guy because we know how successful KC has been in those 12, 13 personnels, especially with the
I
tight
like I
ends.
like that answer.
Fortson is a
That's a
guy they
good
like to
answer.
use in those T-Rex packages and in those goal line works. We've talked to Fortson a little bit, but it's been a while since he's been in the spotlight.
What about Noah
Right.
Gray?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
What
was
about
thinking it was
Baby
somewhere in the
Zeus?
baby Sue's.
Baby
I was thinking
Zeus.
it'd be somewhere in that tiny room too. That's where I was looking at myself. You know, like you mentioned, Aaron, Jody. It's been a minute since he's really got involved like that. You know, as far as red zone targets and whatnot. So hey, and like last year, didn't he score like 2 touchdowns in
Yeah,
last
that's
year's
his
matchup?
breakout game.
And that's what makes KC so dangerous, and especially to start off the year. Like Pat was spreading it around to everybody. He'd have eight completions in a row, and they'd be to 6 different receivers or 7 different receivers. They bring in the 3 tight end sets. They bring in these guys where it's like, well, you targeting him now? You going from MVS to a McKinnon target back to Sky Moore? It's like the crazy part, or I guess the frustrating part, if you're an Eagles fan, is you don't know who it's going to be. When Andy says it's somebody who y'all aren't looking at, that could be 4 or 5 different names.
Facts. Did
Yeah.
you see this performance from MVS coming? Did you see
Mm.
anything ever alluded to you that he's capable of this? The performance he just had.
I wonder if that was just out of necessity. Is that a word? Or it was necessary? The fact that they were just scraping the bottom. That's not a word. Necessity.
I'm gonna let
I
you
was just
slide though. I'm gonna let you slide.
because
Out of
they
necessity.
out of necessity. Yes, there
Yeah.
it is
Okay.
right there. It was out of necessity because like they had no wideouts. It was MVS, Noah Gray, Marcus Kemp, who I talked to today, and it was only a chief for like 3 weeks and mostly played special teams. Like MVS obviously has been there since the start and was in some of those pre-workouts and the preseason and was one of those guys that was coming down and getting the chemistry with Pat early. But he was the one guy out there that Mahomes trusted. I think it helps soothe some of the kingdom's nerves because I see all the time, yo, cut MVS after this year, get him out of here. We don't like him. We didn't do it. But like, if you look at his numbers at the end of the regular season this year versus most of his regular season numbers in Green Bay, he's pretty much the same guy. You can say, yeah, there were times when he and Mahomes didn't have the best connection, but this is his first year with Mahomes. That's natural. That's to be expected. I don't like the MVS hate.
He,
Yeah, I
he
was a little
he
critical.
he, he had career highs too in catches and yards. I
Right.
think.
Hmm.
He needs to find the end zone more, but he had a career year. If we put
Yeah.
it like
Yeah.
that, it's a good
Yeah. Cause
question. What about Kadarius Toney and the other ankle that we're watching this week?
Yeah, so Tony was another guy that was supposed to be at the availability today, but wasn't there. No surprise since he was listed as a limited participant. Andy Reid said he was his normal self, running around, spirited. He did everything that he was scheduled to do in yesterday's practice, and he'll be scheduled to do a little bit more in each day as they ramp up closer to game time. He told reporters on opening night he's definitely playing. I mean, I'm going to take him at his face value for that. I am a little nervous because he does seem like a guy that is, I won't say injury prone, but maybe isn't playing at 100% and could possibly re-aggravate something. But if you're not going to have McCole Hardman out there, which they're not since he's on IR, you need somebody that's going to be able to go east to west and make the defense hesitate just a little bit, because that's what you're looking for in an Andy Reid offense. You just need the space. You just need you just need to put the defenders in a situation where they have to think for a little bit and make a decision, where you running your route and you got one step on them. And Kadarius Toney, we know what he can do at one step. One step for Kadarius Toney is like 2 or 3 steps for anybody else because of how jitterbug he is and how squirrely he is. But I would say he plays at maybe 65 to 70%.
Do you
Hope he
think
ain't
that
catch
he
a
gets
cold.
hurt because he's a little, I want to say reckless? I don't know if reckless is too harsh, but is he playing too fast? Is that why he gets these nicked up, lingering, annoying injuries? Is he playing too fast? Should he just calm down just a little bit? I think
That's a good
Pacheco does
question.
it too, but
I
he's
don't
not
know.
getting hurt.
Do you want to
Knock
coax
on
that out
wood.
of that guy though? Do you want to have him? Kadarius Toney is a guy I don't want to have him thinking too much. He's a backyard football player, right? Like he goes
Facts,
purely
facts.
off instincts, and you get him the ball in space and you let him do the work. You let him do the rest. I don't want to have him hesitating or double thinking himself or anything like that. I think maybe he could put on a few. He's definitely a smaller guy and has a smaller frame. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to say that he's playing too aggressively or too fast.
Yeah, because I said like after this game, in the off season, I would like for him to link up with Bobby Stroup because I think Bobby can help him out as far as like cutting down some of those nagging hamstring injuries and or ankle injuries and whatnot. So that won't be an issue moving forward because that's been like the bugaboo of his career.
what what
Hamstring injuries and whatnot. So
what's that program Tom Brady had? The TB12 program. We got the TM
TB12
no,
15.
method.
no more strawberries for Kadarius Toney. He can't eat no
Yeah,
strawberries no more.
get him, Bobby. Get on him, Bobby. Hey, Bobby. Hey, Pat's ankle sold more stuff for Bobby Stroke than anything this year because he's playing on a high ankle sprain. He
Think
is
about that,
playing on a
because
high ankle sprain.
CEH had a similar injury, right? High ankle sprain. We know Mahomes didn't have any fractures in his, and we don't know the specifics behind what grade it is. We're kind of just speculating on grades. But CEH had a high ankle sprain and has been out since week 11. Harrison
Right.
Butker had a high ankle sprain in week 1 and missed all that time. Patrick
It didn't look right
Mahomes
when he came back.
didn't look
Not
great. Had to work
necessarily.
through it. But
Yeah.
on 3rd and 4, Patrick Mahomes gets 5 yards plus the 15-yard flag. I mean, it's special. Don't take it for granted. I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Yep. And
So
speaking of Patrick Mahomes, real quick, country, I'm sorry.
go
Speaking
ahead.
of Patrick Mahomes, there's been the legacy talk discussion already with him in this year 5. I get the whole we haven't seen anything like this before as far as him going to conference championship games or Super Bowls every year or whatnot. Do you think it's a little too early for that talk? Do you think he needs a few more years under his belt before we start talking legacy talk?
The resume is there, so I see why people have the talk, but I'm not comfortable with it. I said this on Coast to Coast yesterday. Just wait till after Sunday, and then we can have this conversation, and then we can have it in full. Because right now we having this conversation, kind of saying ifs and buts and trying to fill in the gaps. But let's say the Chiefs win, and this is all purely hypothetical. I don't want people to burn me up in my mentions. But if the Chiefs win on Sunday and Mahomes has 3 interceptions, that legacy conversation looks a little different. If they lose and he has 5 touchdowns, the legacy conversation looks a little bit different. Like we still need to have a little bit more information before we go there. But I mean, the NFL MVP award is being handed out here in Arizona in a few hours. We know who it's going to go to. And if you were to add that plus a Lombardi Trophy first player to do it in the same year since 2000, we got to start having the Hall of Fame conversation first, because he's definitely piling up a hell of a resume.
And bro, we living in the Twitter era. So
Absolutely.
today he's the Hall of Famer. Tomorrow he's not going to be, and then the next day he's going to be. You know what I'm saying? It goes. The
I think
turn
that
is so
the Burrow
swift.
the Burrow game was more important for the legacy, right? Like, to me, and I saw some of the conversations leading up to that game. Well, if Burrow beats Mahomes this time, maybe he's the better quarterback right now. The fact that the Chiefs got that one, it cements that, like, all right, Pat's that guy there's no other quarterback that's comparing to him. He could get you further than most guys can. And I mean, we still got to see what happens on Sundays before we can have that real legacy conversation.
Yeah. And here's another thing I want to touch on real quick. Airbnb, it was said that he's been a prime candidate for another office coordinator job with Washington and Baltimore. But my issue is this. It's been said many times, like who does majority of play calling and whatnot. I know it said before that, Andy Reid has stated that it's EB 52%, it's him 48% with him overruling and stuff. I feel like it's the other way in my opinion, but with the amount of success the Chiefs have had on offense and whatnot, you see in the rankings here, like it's first every other year, then it's like a fifth in 2019, a third in 2021.
Yeah.
But yet Airbnb still not qualified enough to get a head coaching job, and it's very frustrating. And then you see all these other guys like you see Kafka getting discussed as far as head coaching jobs. You see I can't really think right now, but that's just an example right there.
Yeah.
What's the issue with EB as far as him not be able to get a head coaching job, or at least be a candidate?
That's the $1 million question, right? And I think he was quoted this week of saying that he interviewed for Indianapolis Colts head coaching job, and that was it. I know there's a lot of rumors and his name's being attached to a lot of these OC jobs, but if I had to go out on a limb, and sure, clip this one if you want to, I do think this is Eric Bieniemy's last game as a Kansas City Chief. I think that he's headed on to his next venture, and maybe that's for the best, right? Maybe he needs to have success somewhere else in order to be anointed as the guy, because all of the success that he's had here in Kansas City, whether it's fair or not, has pretty much been attached to Andy Reid and Andy Reid's success. And Andy Reid has tried to say, hey, EB is critical to what we do. He's tried his best to lobby for him. Hell, even Clark Hunt, the owner of the Chiefs, has come down and tried to lobby for Eric Bieniemy to be a head coach. And yet here we are for the third or fourth year in a row having the same conversation. Maybe his time has passed. Maybe his window has passed. I know he was in the mix for Colorado once, and maybe he wanted to make the jump back down to college and go back up. As far as resume is concerned, it shouldn't be a resume conversation because there is not a more qualified offensive coordinator right now, or has been for the last few years, than Eric Bieniemy. So whether if you think it's they don't want to hand the locker room over to a former player, whether you think he's a bad motivator, we saw Shady McCoy's sour grapes conversation. I don't know, but it's stupid to me.
Yeah, fake Joe Delaney just said it right there. Matt Nagy, before he got hired as the Chicago Bears head coach, he didn't have this type of stuff going on with him. Like, it wasn't really an issue, and Doug Peterson as well. So that's the names I was trying to come up with, but it just didn't click right here.
Would you be upset if he went to Washington? And how long do you think Ron Rivera, wouldn't that be an easy transition if you come in, be OC for me for a year, and then I'll step down, and then would that be disrespectful to EB? Or I don't see that as a bad, and I'm not taking away from the fact that he's been overlooked.
Yeah,
which we all think is bad. I think it's bad too. I agree on that point, but I'm saying, would it be disrespectful for him to take the Washington OC and then slide in the Ron Rivera spot when Ron Rivera walks away in a year or two?
I don't know what his goals are. Eric Bieniemy is so tight-lipped about what his future is while the Chiefs are still playing. His focus, according to him, is always purely on getting the best out of what Kansas City has to offer right now. If his goal is to be a head coach, sure, go to Washington in a situation where you could be the next in command and possibly take over there. But if you want to get paired and continue to win games, and you like being in a Super Bowl weekend and trying to be winning championships, I thought the Baltimore situation might work out for him. Yes, we don't know what Lamar Jackson and all that stuff is, whatever, but top to bottom, they probably have the best roster of all the jobs that his name has been attached to. And sure, if Lamar comes back, that gives you another dynamic type playmaker to get creative with. I mean, going from Mahomes to Lamar, you couldn't get any better. Going from Mahomes to whoever's going to be the quarterback in Washington, that don't sound great to me.
Yeah.
Hold on. Sacramento's balling this year, though.
They are.
But real quick, Aaron, like I know we got to wrap up a little bit. You know, you got a long day ahead, of course, or whatnot.
Appreciate
So,
y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, Aaron, and you
but
are
but
killing it, by the way. We just want to
Hey, man.
give
Thank
you
you.
that. Take a moment to recognize you are doing a fantastic job. You all year you've been doing a fantastic job. You're starting to get them eyeballs on you too, bro. I see them ESPN
bro,
eyeballs on you.
you're getting a lot of love, dog. You're getting a
You get
lot of
it,
love to
a
move up, man.
well deserved, bro. You know,
Appreciate
but
that,
yeah,
man.
you're doing a great job.
But real quick though,
Go ahead.
real quick though, how do you see this game playing out in general?
It's tough, man. I think we're seeing the two best teams, which we don't always get every year. I mean, Philly, I know they kind of snuck up on people. Not a lot of people had them preseason in this game. Kansas City, on the other hand, maybe many people at the same time thought after Tyreek they'd be done. I think if the Chiefs can establish their run game, I've always said this. I said this in the AFC title game. I was sick to my stomach only seeing 3 Isaiah Pacheco carries through like a quarter and a half. Ultimately, I think the Chiefs win. I've been saying KC by 3. But it's going to have to be it's going to be a lower scoring affair in my opinion. I see something in the low 20s, something like that. That AFC title game type style thing. If KC can be aggressive or from the defensive front too, I mean, what we saw in the AFC title game was perfect. I don't know how many times we're going to get that again with the first 8 plays for Cincinnati, 3 of them being sacks for KC. But if I can get a sack from Chris Jones and a sack from Frank Clark in the first half, I'm feeling good if I'm a Chiefs fan. So my prediction is the Chiefs win. Yeah.
All right, so we take your prediction. Chiefs win by 3, hard fought game. Who is Aaron Ladd, reporter? Let's put your reporter hat on. Who are you running for that goal moment that you know you need to have? This moment is gonna put Aaron Ladd on ESPN, Fox Sports, and all that. He's gonna be a new man in a new tax bracket. Who is Aaron Ladd, reporter, running to for that goal moment?
I got to go to Colin again. Either Colin or Juan. Juan and both of them, they had some emotion last time out. It's got to be a defensive guy. I think some of the offensive guys are going to be taking, the national guys will have them already, Travis and Mahomes and some of those guys. But if it's some of those other guys who are in the slums and that kind of thing in the trenches, I'm going Colin right away, man. He's that emotional guy, that leader. He's hilarious too. I think everybody saw the mic'd up stuff that the Chiefs
Oh my
released.
God!
He's a
The
comedian.
mic'd
He'll give
up
you the
was
sound bite and a
hilarious.
joke, man. Yeah, he's a good one.
I thought Chris Jones was the most hilarious player on the team, and then I seen that mic'd up. Yeah, they fighting right now. Colin is hilarious, dude.
That whole
So
D line room, man, they got jokes.
yeah. I think you know what? I think Dunlap might be the guy because I think you're gonna get raw emotion if they win the Super Bowl if you run up on Dunlap because he hasn't been. This is his first year in the playoffs, right? This is his first playoff win, 100 sacks this year, Super Bowl.
Yeah, 100 sacks.
So yeah, so if we manifesting it right now. Run the Dunlap and then run the Colin Saunders. Get that emotion and then get that hilarity in the same space. You know what I'm saying? So, but
For
again,
sure.
man, we want to congratulate you on the job that you did all season. The exceptional work in the playoffs, especially the AFC Championship game. I'm like, man, my boy Aaron he got everybody that could be gotten. Got an interview. I think Jackson Mahomes got an interview with you too. you did work, man, and we appreciate you, bro. And keep up the good work, man, and keep killing it like you're doing, bro.
Appreciate y'all. Tell Kylie and Boogie we're gonna catch them next time, man. Next cast.
For sure.
Yeah,
We got to tap in for the draft, man. We got to tap in for that.
Yup.
Yeah,
Y'all
most
be easy,
definitely,
man.
Oh yeah, real quick, Aaron, before you go, man, do you got anything lined up besides, work and stuff, or is it just all business throughout this entire week?
We're gonna have some fun, man. Come
All
on
right.
now.
All right. I'm just
Hey,
checking.
wait a minute.
I'm just checking.
Gronk party I think it's Friday. Gronk party Friday or Saturday. 21 Savage here. Cardi and Offset were here last night. You got to work hard, play hard. That's why I'm really tired, to be honest with you. If I went to bed at a normal hour, if I went to bed after the availabilities and all my work stuff was done, I'd be all right. But the fact that the NFL world is down here. I'm seeing people from the league office, seeing friends I know from around the like that. That's what really kills you.
Oh, Aaron, one more before we leave.
Yeah.
My favorite guy in the world is probably Deion Sanders. If I could get that guy, it would be Deion Sanders. I seen my boy Patrick Allen. He was interviewing Joe Montana. Anybody on your bucket list down there that you like? If I could get this guy for 2 minutes,
Mike Vick, without hesitation. I was crushed when he went to training camp that day because I was off that day.
I remember that.
I was sick to my stomach. Mike Vick, if y'all don't know me, I'm from Atlanta originally. Big Falcons fan. I mean, that when I grew up watching the sport, Vick was like my first favorite player. I still got the Wheaties box back at my mom's crib. He's a part of the Fox crew here, so he's around here somewhere. So if anybody watching this got connections, let him know. Let Vic know I need 2 minutes.
Yeah, that would be dope. You ain't from the deck though.
Stop it.
You ain't from the deck.
Man, I'm done with y'all, man. I'm out of here. Y'all be easy, man.
All right, Aaron, take it easy, bro. That's a good way to end the early show.
Yeah.
We've been trying, Kevin. I mean, look, the country been trying.
We do got a show later on tonight. It'll be the whole team. Guest DJ Q.
DJ Clue. Illuminati.
That would be my man. DJ Q, man. Me and Q go way back, man. So I haven't seen him in a while, so it'd be good to catch up with him and talk the rest of this game. Man, it's almost Friday. What, 3 more days left?
Yeah, man.
Stay patient, man. Look at your boy.
Man.
Still.
He's so hurt, dog.
It was all good just a week ago.
Right. Just begging for attention, dog. We gave you all the attention.
Poor sporting boys. Rasheed Wallace, man. If anybody know Rasheed Wallace, let me know, bro. I definitely
would love to have him.
Definitely would love to interview Rasheed Wallace.
Right. I wonder if she gonna pull up for the draft in a few months. Kevin's stupid.
I don't know. I don't know if that's real or not. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, that's my guy HD, man. Shout out to HD. He be
okay.
watching. So.
HD, what's up? So shout out to the to winners in the giveaway. Yesterday we got another one we about to drop within the hour. Homage giveaway. So follow Twitter, follow Homage, sports trivia, Super Bowl trivia. This is a good question too. So, follow us on Kingdom Cast, like and subscribe, share. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Kylie. Get back to work.
Yeah, we'll see you tonight, Kylie.
Chuck, take us out, bro.
All right, y'all. But yeah, like Country said, don't forget to tune in later on tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for the main show where all of us going to be here. DJ Q, special guest, lifetime Eagles fan. He's also covering the Chiefs. He's from the Red Hour, so he's very familiar with both teams. So it's going to be interesting to get his perspective on the game. That being said, Kingdom Cast, we'll see y'all later on tonight.
Peace.